Hey everyone, back again with another video to help you out. So I'm showing you how to take the radio receiver out of a 2012 Toyota Sienna minivan. This is being pulled from a junkyard for a customer who needs it. It's pretty simple to do, just have to take your time. And if you're not confident in this, I would suggest to leave it to a professional or somebody who has more experience with it. I already had this taken apart for the speed portion of it. You don't need to see me sitting here turning wrenches and all this stuff. It's really simple, but I will tell you what you need to use to get this out of here though. I have a flathead screwdriver. You can use a nylon panel removal tool, but if you don't have one of those, you can just use a flathead screwdriver. If you're going to do this at home and you're scared about scratching anything, you can take black electrical tape and wrap it around the end of this so that way you don't scratch anything. And you'll need a 10mm socket and an extension on either a ratchet, or I have an impact here. It's not really necessary for an impact, but it does save some time. So in order to remove the radio, also I would venture to say double check your glove box and your owner's manual and all that stuff to make sure there's no code attached to this. This is being bought by a customer, so I don't know if they already have a code that they can scan or they can enter in if it needs it. I don't even know if it needs it or not, so take that into consideration too if you're replacing this with a stock unit, that these sometimes may need a code to enter in for theft prevention and all that stuff. But if you're just using it, taking this out to put an aftermarket one in, then you'll be fine. Anyway, you'll need to remove this lower panel here that runs all the way underneath the glove box. When I say pops out, people can get confused sometimes. When I say things just pop out, I literally mean it just pops out. There's no effort really involved. So again, I've already had this loose, but I snapped some of it back in just to show how simple it actually is, that when I say it pops out, it's literally popping out. There's just clips on the back side of this. Just be careful not to break that, because it is a long, thin piece. You'll have one plug on the back side here, right there. Just squeeze that trigger on the top and pull it out of there, and then set it aside. Then you'll have this deal here. I did have this up here in park. Again, I'm in the junkyard. You can either turn the ignition on and move it down into a lower gear while the e-brake is depressed, or you can pop this little cover out with the e-brake on and push down on this little tab inside here, and then move the shifter into a lower gear. Like so. And then you'll need to remove the trim piece here that goes around it. It just slides out of those little out of the dash just like the other piece did with just plastic clips. You can just leave it sit like so. Make sure you don't lose your little tab if you do it this way. Make sure you keep that so you put it back in. Then the heater controls, that has to come out first because the heater controls sit behind it. Then you can get in behind the heater controls and pop it loose. The top of this snaps into the bottom of the radio bezel. So you'll need to remove the heater controls. Again, these are already loose. There's one plug here. This one here. Just squeeze that little trigger to remove it from the heater controls. Set it aside. And then with the radio, you'll have to remove this 10mm here, and there's another 10mm over here. And then back up in the hole here, just follow along the edge of this metal bracketry. All the way back there, you'll find a 10mm nut. Now be careful taking that one out using your extension, that you don't drop the nut down inside, because otherwise you'll have to fish it out with either a magnetized screwdriver or a magnetic pickup tool to retrieve that 10mm nut. On the other side, it's just a 10mm bolt right back here. It's not as deep as the other side, but when you get all four of those 10mm out, the top half of this is just held in with clips, so you can get a hold of this and pull it out. Be careful not to break or damage your heater vents. This top half, see all these clips? That's all that's holding it. Double check your vents, make sure those are in good condition before you put this back together. And then on the bottom you'll have these plugs to remove. Now if it helps you, you can take a picture of these before you start, so that way you can make sure they go back in the same spot. But all of these plugs are proprietary, so they only go in one spot, so you can't confuse them. And then you've got your antenna plug right here. So I'll show you the plugs. These are all really simple plug setups. Just squeeze the trigger in the center of these. These are all facing up when you pull the radio out, so they're easy to get to. You just use your flathead screwdriver and just push down on them and pull the wiring out of the back of the radio, and then you've got your antenna plug right here. So that's all there is to removing this. And with that being said, if this helped you out, drop a like down below. Subscribe for more of these things. I put these out to help people do this stuff at home so they can save money and they don't have to give it away to people who would probably charge way too much. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.